He's acting up. Playful trick. Disturbing history. Daddy Rice, a popular white... Oh, no. Go back to the stream now. Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Wait. Wait, they started running. Shots fired? Shots fired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Oh my God. Oh my God, look, 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 look. What the fuck? What happened? Okay, I'm going to skip ahead maybe. Is that Kash Patel?
Holy Toledo.
What happened? Do we know? Well, I mean, people are chilling. Bro, they are going to fire the fuck out of Kash Patel, dude. Oh my God. Watch it be a negligent discharge by one of the Secret Service guys? No shot. All right, so this is live. We're now live at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Chaotic scenes taking place at the White House Correspondents' Dinner as the president and everyone in the White House Correspondents' press pool, members of the press, were having dinner. And all of a sudden, we don't know exactly what happened. We have no idea what took place, but there was like people panicked, moving around. President ducked under the table. Secret Service was present on site. Loud sounds heard inside. Trump was taking
Yeah. Then very quickly, right, prepare them and they got them out. So John, the folks who were in the front did not know what was going on either. Here is now the front. You can see some of the damage, some of the lighting and things knocked over at the front of the room. Okay.
No, this is good for us because Trump
Brian,
actually,
just so you know, you are our eyes and
Trump
ears.
actually ended up not watching the Mark Levin show tonight, so that's still good for us.
Images that we
Unless
have
he DVR'd it, in which case we're fucked.
voice and through the people you were speaking with, the only information that we are getting from inside there. So please keep looking and keep on talking to people, and we will try to get a sense of what happened. But right now, just to reiterate, and I think we did just lose Brian there, unfortunately. The cell service in there is terrible. All we know is there was a sound. The people we've spoken to, Brian and Major Garrett of CBS, said it sounded like plates, and that every Trump official was then immediately escorted out.
We're seeing David Urban
And Tony Doe of CBS. Brian, go ahead.
Tony Double Cirque. Tony Double Cirque, is his penis okay?
No, I don't have enough. Anybody in this room who knows what happened? Hopefully, this was a sudden reaction to some drop
Hold on,
plates.
we have Brian. We have Caitlin Collins. We have Caitlin Collins on the line for some more insight. Caitlin Collins, we're listening. What's happening?
Hey guys, obviously, I mean, this is a total state of chaos right now in the ballroom, and we're seated maybe 50 feet from the stage where the president was up there, the First Lady Melania Trump.
We have to stay here for now.
Security is telling us that everything's okay. The shooter, there was a shooter? 1 second, guys, I'm literally, what happened?
We're trying to identify it now.
Where was the shooter?
Somewhere out there.
In the lobby? In the lobby? All right, control. All right, guys. I just want you to know this is not verified. We're just listening to what's happening.
Bro, they got you in 4K saying you wish he wasn't having a good time. Okay, bro. Like, oh no.
The Secretary of Education is seated right next to me. And
That's a little bit. That's a little bit of a liberal interpretation of what I was saying there. You know what I mean? Just because the wish was granted doesn't mean that I was calling for it.
They said he is confirmed dead. We don't know anything more than that, but I can tell you we had just sat down to dinner. The president,
Prison
the First
stream
Lady, Caroline
soon.
Leavitt were all on stage, including the Vice President, J.D. Vance. So obviously a lot of security here. And, you know, at the beginning of the dinner, everyone's just kind of seated having their meal. And within moments, armed Secret Service is running in with massive guns. I mean, maybe dozens, and a silence just went over the room as they ran in. Everyone ducked, got on the floor. People were underneath tables. No one knew what was going on. And for a second, the president actually was not evacuated off stage. I looked. He was sitting still right there.
Did you just ask if they
Secret Service
shot
was
a
coming
waiter
in
for
and
dropping the
hallway.
plates?
And so we didn't know at first, but then we heard from our own security that they heard shots fired. And now we do have Secret Service telling us, obviously I want to know this is only one Secret Service member, but a member of security is here telling us that there is a shooter who is confirmed dead, and now we are kind of basically locked inside the ballroom. But basically they were saying everyone's okay. They have not identified the shooter yet, but obviously it shows you this was not some kind of false threat, that obviously something had happened, and they rushed the entire administration off stage. A few members are still in the audience, because as you guys know, someone from the administration is kind of seated at each table inside. I'm actually sitting next to Secretary McMahon, the Secretary of Education. And so that was what happened. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And I want you guys to know security is very tight getting in. It's Secret Service who warns you. You come in through magnetometers into this. And so obviously there's a ton of security here, given how many top officials here, the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, top lawmakers who all have their own security details are also in the room. That just speaks to this. But as we were sitting here, and then moments later, obviously the president was rushed off stage, the vice president was rushed off stage. I saw Secretary Kennedy being rushed off as well, Stephen Miller and his wife, as they were moving quickly. But it's difficult for them to identify where everyone is in this very cramped ballroom, as we're all kind of seated right next to each other.
Caitlin, are you hearing anything more in terms of
What does she
the number
know?
of shooters or any shots fired or anything, information about where they were
There will be
firing
shots
into? Was
fired.
it confined to the lobby or inside of the actual ballroom?
So it's not clear, because obviously it looked like the threat was coming near the stage, and that's where people thought that they heard gunshots. But
What
then we
does she
also have
know?
reports that people who were seated kind of in the back of the room heard it. I mean, the acoustics, obviously, it's hard to judge. I personally did not hear the gunshots. I'm seated maybe 50 feet from the main stage where the president, the first lady, and the vice president were. And you kind of walk downstairs. It's in the basement of the Hilton. The security who just confirmed to me that the shooter that was here inside the Hilton where the president was is confirmed dead seemed to indicate that this person was in the lobby. But I mean, I want you guys to know this is all just coming in as we're literally standing here in the room reporting on this as it's happening. And I just to give you insight into this room, obviously it's always a huge gathering of media, but when the president comes, it generates a lot of interest. So there are some of those powerful figures in media, entertainment, news, Washington that are inside this room right now, just to give you a sense of what this security nightmare is like.
Yeah, again, just let's reiterate what Caitlin has just told us and bring people up to speed as to what we know. This is the White House Correspondents' Dinner, or what was the White House Correspondent Dinner at the Washington Hilton Hotel. About 10 minutes ago, people heard things and the room was cleared out very quickly. The president, the vice president, the entire dais, most of the cabinet is there as well, taken out of the room. Caitlin, who is in there, Caitlin Collins, is reporting she is hearing from a security official that there were shots fired, perhaps in the lobby, by someone who is now dead. Now, we don't have any information this person got in the room or near the president or any official, but there does appear to have been shots fired outside. You can see officials right now sweeping the area, going through, and we have no information about who the individual might be or anything like that. I will say, as Caitlin was saying, this is one of the most secure rooms on earth tonight. You have the president, the vice president, much of the entire cabinet there, prominent media figures as well. It takes a long time to get in, and everyone is thoroughly screened. So questions will be asked about how someone even got to the lobby. Let's go to Brian Stelter and Manu Raju now, who are there for the latest on what you are hearing, gentlemen.
And this information, John, that you've been reporting is news to most of the people in the ballroom. Most folks in the ballroom do not yet know anything about shots being fired. Manu, what have you seen?
Yeah, I only saw, when I was sitting at the table, I saw President Trump getting pushed down by his security detail and then being rushed out. Then later seeing both the vice president, the cabinet, also members of Congress also being rushed out by the security detail.
Yeah. And now,
other than that, nothing else.
Looking around, wondering what happened because people inside do not know. I apologize. I'm literally holding up a cell phone camera in order to show you this, but it's better than nothing in a moment like this. And I do think that I don't want to overstate this, but there are some folks pretty shook up in the room here. You had folks who looked like they got hurt when they were falling to the ground.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to overstate that, but this was a pretty sudden, shocking interruption in this room.
Yeah, no question about it, because it's unmistakable. It sounded like gunshots that we heard from not inside the room, but nearby. Okay. And that was enough to cause so many people to immediately, they know what they heard, jump to the ground, try to protect themselves. But we saw how the security reacted very, very seriously, immediately to the situation.
That's right. John?
It is stunning to think about where we are right now. This evening that began as a question of why now? Why is the President of the United States speaking and attending what is his first White House Correspondents' Dinner as the President of the United States? He is attending many of his cabinet members there. His obviously next in line, the Vice President of the United States, the First Lady is there, the Defense Secretary. Also, you have DNI. You have so many people in the administration, also many of whom were on that stage. We watched the video footage as it was coming in live to a bit of chaos after we were told that loud sounds had been heard inside of the actual venue. Caitlin Collins.
Where's Usher?
Shots were fired in the lobby and a shooter confirmed dead. We've got Jake Tapper, who is sitting next to Brian Stelter as well, who is our eyes and ears inside of the space right now. Jake, what did you hear? Can you tell us what you saw?
So,
Jake, can you tell us?
I'm looking there. Okay, sorry.
Jake, it's
you hear
Laura
me
and Berman.
okay?
Yes, I can hear you. What's going on?
So this is what's happening. We're just all at this dinner, and then all of a sudden, I didn't hear the bangs, but I guess there was a bang. And then there was Secret Service running.
Jake Tapper's about to be like, I have it on good authority that it's Hasan Piker who's responsible for this. And apparently he said this one's for Israel right before he shot the right before he fired the warning shot.
And
someone should go arrest him right now, actually.
People were very upset and worried. And I have some videos, so somebody needs to.
Oh my God, I'm about to sound like a fucking chatter, but his mic, he sounds so different on this phone camera.
But in any case,
he sounds so nasally on this phone camera mic.
Somebody with a Secret Service pin said,
real voice, Jake Tapper, real voice,
the building,
real voice unlocked.
And that shooter was stopped. So that's all I know, is that shooter was stopped. But again, that's from one person with a Secret Service pin. Not a thorough vetting in a journalistic sense, but since I'm being interviewed more as a bystander at an event, that's
security officials evacuate House Speaker Mike Johnson as shooter opens fire at the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner from Reuters.
I will say this. So after that happened, I'm sorry if it's tough to hear you. After that happened, the Secret Service came and started collecting other members of the administration, like Secretary Kennedy of the Health and Human Services Department was right there. He was taken out. Secretary Besson was taken out.
What? Possibly
one by
per
one.
News Nation?
The,
bro, that's News Nation. Wait. RFK Jr. and Cheryl Hines. RFK was limping. No word on POTUS. Dog, RFK just limps. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was just limping because he just is fucked up in general. And not because he got shot. Like, I mean, maybe, but RFK's got so many different issues, dog. Like even if RFK got shot, I would assume that he died to other causes. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going. His body is a wonderland. Okay, it's just so many different things going on in his body.
She is on the line. First of all, Greta, what we're seeing on the scene right now
they're
is
evacuating.
that all the attendees are filing out. Is that correct?
Yes, and I just left myself, actually, so I was able to talk to you because there's not
see,
service,
this motherfucker's just limping.
Down in the ballroom area. So I left the building. I'm standing outside. There is a large police presence outside. The attendees are filing out, and it's unclear what's going to happen next. The lobby of the Hilton is where the action happened before the ballroom. I'm not sure if it was unclear what was happening in the ballroom itself. It sort of
we might hear something funny from these reporters, by the way, because as a chatter pointed out, they're a little buzzed. Okay, like Jake Tappy was sounding a little buzzed there. Oh my God, Olivia Reingold. Terrifying. A few ground shaking knocks by my seat at White House Correspondents' Dinner. Unclear if shooting. I'm okay. We are trying to exit now.
We were just seated over. I'm seated near one of the doors, and
Zay! Oh my God, they tried to recreate the USA chant after the shooting. Oh my God, people are so fucking cringe. Oh my God. Can we just skip her? No, that's my favorite journalist in America. How dare you?
Public, a sense of the scale and what it takes to navigate this room, right? We are seeing but a sliver of the inside of this room. Someone's talking right now. Let's listen in. We did not hear what they just said just now. It apparently was not well received, but they're getting more information. We are learning things. Brian, what did they say just now, Brian Selter?
Just a very brief announcement saying the program will resume shortly.
What?
Not sure what form that
What? They're like, lightning can't strike twice. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Now Trump has to sit through this shit, pissed off and possibly scared because he's a pussy if he doesn't come back, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. Now he has to fucking sit through the White House course. He's probably not gonna come back. Oh my lordy.
First of all, I'm glad that the president is safe, and I'm glad that the cabinet is safe, and I'm glad that they were able to keep worse things from happening. What I would say is that there is some strength that's trying to be shown here, that you don't stop this country, and you don't.
Oh God, Ben Jones.
And so people will see it differently, but I can understand why people would not want to let the terrorists win today, why they would not want to let terrorism win today. But you're going to have a lot of people who are just upset and shaken because the president of this country could have been killed tonight. And this is the sort of stuff that has to stop. This is the level of violence and crazy stuff on all sides of this country is leading people to think that this is the right thing to do somehow. And I can understand why they don't want to yield to this. But I think people around the world right now.
Why are they talking like it's a foreign enemy? It's America, bro. Of course.
Get into an event.
It's an American news broadcaster. Of course, they're going to make it seem like it was Al Qaeda or some shit. I mean, we don't have any details whatsoever. But judging by past performance, the likelihood of this guy being a Trump supporter is still fairly high. Because considering that wherever Trump goes, there are fallen fans of Donald Trump that just seemingly always want to kill him. I mean, this has happened a bunch of times at this point, like in fucking Mar-a-Lago and shit. You know what I mean? So
by showing up and doing something like this. I was here on the Saturday night in 2024 of Butler, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I wake up every day worried to death about the safety of this president and everything that he has been through. I'm glad he's safe.
Let's listen. Wei Zhejiang is up there.
How fast before people say this is fake, by the way?
Security personnel have been rushed out of the building. Wei Zhejiang speaking now.
We have an announcement. I know everyone's going to want as many details as possible, and right now we don't have that, but I can tell you that our program is going to resume momentarily.
Show must go on! Sources say the dinner is stable. Please, God.
We will have more details to share also momentarily, but for now, please just be patient as we figure out just how much time it will be, but it shouldn't be that much longer. Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're going to hear from Wolf Blitzer right now, who is standing by. He's obviously at this dinner as well. Wolf, are you able to hear us? I'd love to hear what your perspective is and what you can tell us.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's very,
Knees are weak.
Worrisome what happened. Just coincidentally, after
I already did twice check logs.
I walked out to simply go to the men's room, but you have to walk up these stairs and walk out, and which I was doing. And as I was walking back towards the door to get back into the big area where the event was taking place, all of a sudden, I start hearing gunshots in the hall right near me.
Wolf Blitzer, drunk again, blindsided by breaking news, has to rush into action.
And I was listening and watching what was going on. And apparently they got the gunman who had a major weapon there, but it was so worrisome. The noise was so loud in a small area, and all of a sudden I'm seeing gunshots. And then they grab me, the police officers, and they take me back into the men's room where it was safe, and there were about 15 other men who are stuck in there, and they won't let them out. And that's what happened. And then after a while, they let me out, and I'm out now. I'm not back in the ballroom, but everything is apparently closing down. Very scary incident. All of a sudden, a guy with a weapon, and it was a very, very serious weapon, he starts shooting, and I happened to have been a few feet away from him as he was shooting. And, of course, the first thing that went through my mind is he trying to shoot me? And I don't think he was trying to shoot me, but I was very close to him as the gunshots were fired. And it was very, very scary, but I'm okay now.
Wolf, it's John Berman. Thank God you are okay. And thank you for calling to tell us you are okay and sharing this information. This is the first we're hearing of any of this. So I'm going to ask you to go over it again in great detail because you are the first witness that we have who has seen anything quite like this. So please, on a different floor than the dinner itself? And you did see a person.
When you walk out, out of the dinner, and to go up, you have to climb a few stairs, not an escalator or an elevator. You just climb a few stairs to go out into the lobby area outside of the ballroom, where the dining area was going on. We had just finished appetizers, sitting down, and I walked away to go out to the men's room, but you have to go up one flight of stairs. So I was up one flight of stairs above the area where the dining was going on. And as I was coming out of the men's room to walk back in, all of a sudden I hear these loud, very scary gunshots right near me. And the next thing I knew, a police officer was on top of me, threw me to the ground, and I was waiting. And the next thing, a bunch of other police officers came and told everybody who was near me, you guys are all going into the men's room. And
the mentalist is just that good.
I was afraid there were other potential gunshots that could be fired from other people. And so the next thing I knew, I'm in the men's room with about 15 other men. We're just waiting to leave, and eventually they let us walk out. And I'm out now, but they're not letting me go back into the dining area where the event was taking place. And I just assume
let Wolfie back in.
For now. No. Too scary with a gunshot incident like this. And I had no idea, as I was hearing the gunshots, who this shooter was aiming at, or if he was just trying to scare everybody. I didn't know what he was doing. But it was within a few feet away from where I was, and it was pretty frightening. And when the police officers took me away, one of my shoes fell off, and now I have that shoe back. But it was just a terrible, scary, frightening moment for me. And I'm glad it looks like it's over right now. But I think that out of presumption of caution, they're just telling everybody to leave right now.
Well, Wolf, hang on. First of all, they just said the event will continue. I don't know if they'll stick to that, but the announcement inside the room, and I know you're not there, was the event will continue. But let me just ask you, and if you can wait, just listen. Did you see a gunman? Can you describe the person and the weapon and what that person was doing?
My man is shoeless, bro. Let him live.
I didn't see all the details, but I did see the gunman on the ground after he started shooting. Police officers threw him to the ground, but he was still shooting, and I could hear the shots going off. It was very frightening. I was on the ground, too, because a police officer was on top of me trying to protect me in case one of the bullets could get near me, which it didn't. But I can't describe the gunman. I have no idea what, if any, motive this individual may have had. But the sense I got is that the police who were there, and there were a lot of police there, took care of him relatively quickly. And the incident looks like it's over, but it was a very frightening incident. And out of an abundance of caution, I'm sure they're taking other precautions right now. I see not only a lot of
imagine
police
I call
officers
Trump
near me
right now,
but a lot of military personnel.
Be like, yo, what's good? How you feeling?
And they're all armed and ready to go if anything else happens right now. But it looks like that one incident is over, at least for now.
Well, thank goodness. This is Laura. You're safe. We'll make sure that your family also knows that you are safe, given what is taking place tonight. I want to go. Please stand by. We want to hear more from you. We have Brianna Keeler, who also is on the phone. She also has new information. Brianna, we've just heard that the president is safe, a shooter in custody at the Correspondents' Dinner. Our own Wolf Blitzer in the lobby when the shots were fired, and he was tackled to the ground by the officers.
Yes, I have his number. I have the president's phone number. Shut the fuck up.
Can you
I do.
tell us?
I just spoke with someone I know who had been heading out of the ballroom to walk upstairs to go to that sort of lobby concourse area where the restrooms are. And on the wall by those stairs is glass. And as he just started to ascend the stairs, all of the glass started to shatter and rain down sort of from above as he was walking up from the bullet. So he heard multiple gunshots as he was about to ascend into the area where this was all happening. And he couldn't see because he was actually below, but obviously he could see all of the glass coming down, and that person came back inside to the ballroom. But when we were inside of the ballroom, we couldn't necessarily hear that. The reaction of the Secret Service was really what startled everyone, and they just ducked for cover. But he had seen this. A lot of glass shattering, and that's actually an exit of the ballroom that we are not being permitted to go out right now and get some air from. There's other exits where they're permitting people to get a little bit of air from, and that's a door that is no longer open.
Brianna, we had been giving people as much of a play-by-play as we could. We knew that there was an announcement from inside of the dinner that they were intending possibly to continue the programming. We also saw a mass exodus of people leaving that ballroom, and Secret Service also coming.
Is Olivia Reingold going to be able to watch the White House Correspondents' Dinner, or is she not allowed back in? This is what I need to know. CNN, get to it.
In terms of where they are now after having left the ballroom?
We don't at this point, but we did just get an announcement from the White House Correspondents Association President Wei Zhejiang, who said that the program.
Oh, shit. Bro, that was crazy.
The president's plaque off the podium, and there's been some movement on stage. There's been no movement, I'll say, at the dinner tables. There has been some of the wait staff that has come out and removed the salad course. I don't know if that means they're going to continue serving with the course, but if they're doing that, it's maybe a sign that they plan to continue with the dinner. And we're just watching what happens here.
Not the salad.
Karen Bohan, listening to all of this, I mean, what would you be doing as a journalist right now if you were caught in that room, or would you have gone to the bureau, gone out of the room?
So I would have stayed in the room because, you know, in the room is where you're going to get probably more facts and find out what happened.
God, I fucking,
you know,
this
one
is
of the
the
things that a lot of journalists are
this
doing.
is the
is,
funniest
I'm sure,
place where
talking
something
to
like
people
this
who
could have
might been in
happened.
other parts.
Okay, because every single person is in the media, so, and every single person is going to constantly talk about this. This is going to be the thing that, in normal circumstances, the Mar-a-Lago shooter, right? The guy who wanted to kill Trump at Mar-a-Lago, he got killed immediately. It was barely a fucking day of news. This will be covered up and down extensively. Finally, get you off of Fox News? Oh, sure. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sure that Fox News will be able to figure out a way to pin this on radical Antifa terrorism, and therefore your boy somehow.
And that's what happened about 45 minutes ago. Now back to the live ballroom. Let's see what's happening up there. Nope, people are still talking on the phone. Nothing has moved yet. John McCardle, any update for us?
After a horrible, tragic event like this happened, does it make you want to reconsider supporting terrorism?
Obviously don't want to leave.
What is this
It's just
question?
kind of the nature of reporters who want to see what happens. It's a lot of checking phones, checking in with family members, people asking if they're okay.
Dog, you asked that question so weirdly.
But like I said, there's also people popping some of the bottles of wine that hadn't been opened yet.
Connor said, why would they invite Iran to the press dinner? Oh, man. All right, we need more. We need more information. Yeah, I mean, technically nothing happened. From what we understand so far, one guy, I think, judging by the shots, there were 5 shots. There was 1 shot, and then there were 4 shots immediately after. So I think one guy fired the first shot, and then boom, 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 boom. It's over. What I don't understand is how the fuck some random could have gotten anywhere near the event space with a weapon. They already blaming you? No, they're not, bro. Calm down. How the fuck would anybody with a weapon get anywhere near? Tweeted it? Wait, what? Is this a good time to mention that Democrats knew darling Hasan Piker said he wanted the blood of his political opponents to run in the streets and recently justified the murder of an innocent father because he ran it? Bro, that is crazy. That is crazy. No, you weren't wrong. This motherfucker literally heard the president. There's a motherfucker who heard in the news that there was a shooting that took place at an event that the president was at, and he did not wait. Immediately, he was like, time to make this about Hasan. All Dems are Pol Pot. Maybe wait until we confirm this isn't just another cracker. This one's worse. Reminder, Hasan Piker publicly advocated for President Trump's assassination. Perhaps one of his lunatic followers decided to give it a shot. Bro, what the fuck? Bro, brother, are you fucking serious? What the hell, dude? Ain't no way. This is HDS full force. Not a chance, bro. We're all here watching. Update from Janine Perot, who happens to be currently the fucking U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia.
I'm at the Washington Hilton. I've been taken out of the main ballroom after the sound of the shots fired. The Secret Service is now in charge of this building, this hotel. I just spoke to Mayor Muriel Bowser. She is on her way, and Chief Jeffrey Carroll is on his way.
To be fair, you are kind of Muslim. The fuck? Can't believe Hasan was almost there. I was not invited to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I was just invited to another party during the weekend. Who's the babe on screen? That's U.S.
And you.
This has 620 likes already. Oh my god!
And you actually wrote about this.
This is the outside.
Back, stay back.
Why is Young India arc quote retweeting Jackson Hinkle? What the fuck is happening in this video? Who filmed this video? Was it Jackson Hinkle? Is he there? Kirk, live stream had more viewers. President fell off. Yeah, well, he didn't. The only person that died here is the shooter. That's why, obviously. They found the suspect. Stop. Also, most people don't even know this just happened. You have to remember, most people have no fucking clue. You'll see more and more people trickling in. That's why it's like unbelievable. That's why it's unbelievable that there's motherfuckers in here who are already posting their dunks on how I'm responsible for this. You know what I mean? That's crazy. He pinned that tweet already? All right, let's see what CNN's saying.
To get to the Washington Hilton Hotel. So I was a few blocks away, and I was walking towards the hotel, and you could see an enormous amount of security around the hotel. So they were clearly very, very worried. I was very, very worried, obviously. And then everything seemed to be going well until I walked out of the ballroom, and I was walking back in. The next thing I know, I'm hearing gunshots, and I'm pushed to the ground by law enforcement and taken away. It was just a very, very frightening moment for me personally, and I'm sure for so many others who happened to be in that corridor outside the ballroom.
We're going to hold behind the stage right now. Staff are going to reset the head table. POTUS never left and is down the hall from me. He wants the show to go on. We're told by his details someone tried to get through the mags with a gun.
Is in a safe location.
The counter assault team did their job. Unclear what that means.
Want to return. He does want.
Okay, so someone actually just fucking tried to walk through the metal detectors with a gun, I guess. Is that what happened? Or if just did it just beep on someone and the Secret Service just popped off on him? Like, the fuck? Did Trump post? Trump posted? Trump already posted for the backstage? Quite an evening in D.C. Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended, and I've recommended that we let the show go on, but will entirely be guided by law enforcement. They will make a decision shortly. Regardless of that decision, the evening will be much different than planned, and we'll just plain have to do it again. President Donald J. Trump. More tweets blaming you. Shots fired. Extreme influencers like Hasan Piker and Candace Owens, both of our names, preaching as Piker did the other day in the New York Times social murder, trying to depict the most freedom-loving country on earth. Enough is enough. I guess this is it, right? That's it. It's just like, no matter what happens going forward, they're going to be like, remember Hasan Piker? Remember chatters when you were like, oh, I guess they'll stop talking about you now. And I was like, no, they'll probably keep talking for some strange reason. They'll find a way. They're reporting now that no shots were actually fired at all. Randy Fine, a.k.a. Horny Sexy, was on his third round of appetizers in lieu of the salad, and buttons on his suit shot off and shattered the glass above the stairs. The scene is secure. I hope everyone is safe. Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, this guy, I guess, is, this is a Clintonite. That's why his responses are like, what the fuck are you talking about? The president is literally the most violent person on the planet. Like, because it's crazy that these guys are like, Hasan Piker exhibits violent rhetoric. he has talked about how violent the systems that we exist under are, which is just as violent as the president, who constantly talks about murdering people. At FBI. Yeah, Caroline Leavitt called it. Bro, I know. Dude, I'm on it already. I'm fucking on it already. I said, what does she know?
Well, is he not?
He is ready to rumble.
Uh-huh.
I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote most of it, you said.
I can't take credit. In true Donald Trump fashion, the man puts his pen to the paper himself. So it's a lot of his own.
What, Liz? Why? First time she hasn't lied? Oh, damn. True. Yo, arrest her. Oh my gosh, she wrote the script. It's a script. She wrote it. Photo, White House Correspondents' Dinner, suspect really. Bro, we can't even make jokes like this because I feel like we now live in too schizophrenic of a media environment where people are unironically going to take that and post it, and then it's going to get like 700,000 likes. And then there's going to be like 10 million Americans who legitimately think I was the guy who tried to shoot the president, okay? Like, we have to be a little bit more careful about the jokes that we make nowadays because honestly, you know, we can't, there's people are pretty fucking nuts. They will blame Israel or you. Yeah. Well, ironically enough, the situation currently is basically 90% of the country will blame Israel, and the 10% that are pro-Israel will blame me. There's a photo of suspect on the ground. Was he apprehended or shot and killed? I'm confused. I can't tell. You can't really see. Hold on. Let me get a closer look at this. Let me zoom in. Is that the suspect? I guess it is. You can't really tell though. I mean, they're trying to do that's it's like medical bags, right? So I think they might have been trying to save him. Fox reported detained, CNN reported shot and killed. We know where the CNN report is coming from. It's Caitlin Collins. We saw Caitlin Collins was the one who said they're pinning it on Erica Kirk already. I mean, I'm also in favor of the, blaming anybody but me category. So out of pure, selfish reasons, if they blame anybody but me, I'm there. Okay. Like Erica Kirk, Israel, get after it, everybody. You know what I mean? Erica Kirk looks at something on his phone and her reaction is unmistakable. What did he show her? Like, what do you think? You think he showed her the plans of how there's going to be an assassination later? It is, yeah, Benjamin Netanyahu is going to come out and be like, we did not do it. Someone on the ground with U.S. Secret Service? Bro, they're already cracking jokes. They're having a good time. Like,
We just watched.
Oh, shit.
It's so upsetting. I'm in studio and I'm shaking.
watching this, and I can't imagine what Erica Kirk is going through again. And I think it's important to remember that the people in that room, we know so many of them, they're also human.
I'm texting Van.
And I imagine that while they want to show up for press freedom, and we don't know what the motive of this shooter was, I imagine some of them are also really scared and traumatized. And I think viewers who are watching some of this footage will be scared and traumatized by it. It's really upsetting, and I feel so exhausted by how much violence we have to cover. Violence against journalists, violence against politicians. I just can't imagine continuing on
I can't
with
say
this
nothing.
night.
I
understand the importance
right
of standing up there and standing against these threats of violence, but this is very real, and we are human. Journalists are human too. And I would really understand if, for security reasons and also just compassion, human reasons, this night didn't continue as planned.
I don't know, man. Everybody in there looks a little shaken.
Wait, what the fuck? He just texted me
the way I
back.
feel
How is
about
that
this
possible?
Is this, a lot of people that are
Van
watching
just
this have
texted
loved
me
ones
back.
inside of that building. You guys have loved ones inside of that building. When you send your kids to school, when people go to church, when people go to the movies, when they go to grocery stores, so many places they go in America, they're just not safe from gun violence. And we have conversations about it, but now it's, once again, coming home.
I want to hear, and what you all have said is so important. I want to hear from Andrew McCabe. I really want to understand, based on your experience in law enforcement with the FBI, we have seen many an agent in that room. We know Secret Service is there. We know the sheer volume of security that would be present with the President of the United States.
It's not pre-recorded. He's live right now.
In that room.
He's texting
Andy
me.
McCabe, describe for us not only your reaction to tonight, but the security presence that would have been in this room, and what do you think is happening right now to try to assess whether there's an ongoing danger and what has happened?
Yeah, sure, Laura. So before anything happened out of the ordinary, the law enforcement approach to this thinks of it as almost on the level of a national security special event.
I'm not going to tell you what I told him to say on camera, but he said, tell the chat you're trying to get me cooked.
So I have no doubt.
I tried to dare him to say something on camera. Yeah, not Van Jones, chatters Van Lathan. He's on the screen.
Had representatives on site tonight. That said, after a gunman shows up, and according to Wolf's comments earlier and other reporting, it sounds like that person might have actually gotten through the security perimeter. We don't know that for a fact yet, but that's what some folks have said. That takes your entire plan, all that coordination, and throws it kind of out the window. Surprise is the enemy to law enforcement planning. The people behind the security of this event, they want to know everything. They want to know who's there, who's in the room, who's outside the room, what time they come in, what time they go out. And they've just been surprised in the absolutely worst possible way. So it is inconceivable to me that any law enforcement person would advise them to continue with the program this evening. I'm sure that's a disappointment to a lot of people who are there, but there is no way you could possibly recommend anything other than say thank you very much and sorry for your trouble and send all these people home.
Andy, stand by for 1 second. We want to go to Zach Cohen, who is inside the room right now with some new information. CNN, Zach Cohen, what are you learning?
Yeah, it's a scary scene out here, honestly. But I will say that we
subscribe to independent media, Piker Broadcasting Service, by the way. Piker Broadcasting Service is ad-free always. There will never be ads on the Piker Broadcasting Service. It's for you, the people, by you, the people. You can contribute to independent media at PBS, People's Broadcasting Service, Piker Broadcasting Service, for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Okay? Tell him to say you were not the shooter live on air. Do it, pussy. No. That's not what I was telling him to say. I was telling him to say something crazier. Anyway, New York Times says one person in custody. I guess the shooter is not dead. I guess that was wrong. Fucking brace. I'm at the White House Correspondents' Dinner first. I'd like to thank law enforcement for their swift response in preventing a tragedy. Second, almost everything you're reading about this incident on X is false. There were multiple shooters and possible casualties. A ton of people are also really sick. Several members of the press corps were taken away in ambulances prior to the disturbance. Yeah. Oh, no. He's doing it. He's going to do it again. He did this last time with... remember when he fucking made up stuff about... it was another like big media moment with Burning Man. A couple years ago when Brace decided to start tweeting about Burning Man as though he was there, and he made it seem like there was a zombie outbreak, and then people literally fucking believed him. Or was it Ebola? Ebola at Burning Man, a classic Brace moment. Okay, United States Secret Service shooting incident. Thank you, Hasan's New Pharmacist, for the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Andrew Filer, for the 20 gifted subs. Like I said, Piker Broadcasting Service shouts out. You can rewind the broadcast if you subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service. You can also send me links. United States Secret Service says the U.S. Secret Service, in coordination with the Metropolitan Police Department, is investigating a shooting incident near the main magnetometer screening area at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. President and the First Lady are safe. All protectees. One individual is in custody. The condition of those involved is not yet known, and law enforcement is actively assessing the situation. Wait, is it a duo? You think it was a duo? They caught one, they apprehended one, and then shot the other? Why are they talking about it like this? Jennifer Jacobs says the suspect is in custody from the White House Correspondents Association dinner shooting. At least one shot fired. One USSSSSS officer taken to the hospital to be checked out, but is okay. Dinner about to resume. Magnetometer. Fun fact about the location, bro. This is the same hotel outside of which John Hinckley Jr. tried to assassinate President Ronald Reagan in 1981. Hey, yo. What? Brother, this guy isn't even a fucking fan of mine. He's literally just a hater. I thought that was a fan posting that, like, as a meme. Bro, these motherfuckers are not going to rest until I'm arrested, I think, for some shit I did not do. Thank God. Thank God I'm always on camera. Thank God I'm always fucking live. Because honestly, if I wasn't live 24/7, people would just start making shit up like, oh, he was there, he did it. You should kill him just to be safe, that type of shit. Bro, I told you to get your name cleared for shooting in the air. Yeah. Yeah, I already covered this. This motherfucker immediately was like, yo, it's you. I am living inside of these people's brains. Using this. Try and blame me. The president uses the most violent rhetoric ever known to man. Perhaps that's why it's usually his own supporters trying to shoot at him. I'm saying we don't even have details of what happened yet. These motherfuckers are already using this opportunity to try and blame me. The president used the most violent rhetoric ever known to man. Perhaps that's why it's usually his own supporters trying to shoot at him. Don't draw attention to them. Dog, this is fucking 22 minutes in and it already has 3,000. It's 22 minutes in and it already has 3,000 likes. It's over. Yeah, this has 13,000 likes. Like it's already set. New Trump post. Pete Hegseth, looking stricken, was cutting a path through the mobbed hallways of the Hilton, just now descending deeper into the bowels of the hotel, even as the White House press pool. Oh my God. People are replying to Hannity blaming you. You needed to immediately refute any accusation before they even make the threat like Netanyahu did 2 minutes after Charlie got kirked. Yeah, that worked really well for Netanyahu. Law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises. Consistent with protocol, which we will do immediately. I will be giving a press conference in 30 minutes from the White House press briefing room. First Lady plus the Vice President and all cabinet members are in perfect condition. We will be speaking to you in half an hour. I have spoken with all the representatives in charge of the event, and we will be rescheduling within 30 days. President Donald J. Trump. You didn't post the tweet, Unc? It's true. I did not post the tweet. The other one is even more viral. I'm posting it. I did. Don't post? Why? Why? Is better to ignore? Bro, it has 13,000 likes already. What are you talking about? Better to ignore. Find me several tables over. I will hide you. Update, New York Times, Sean McCreesh reports Cash's girlfriend was hiding in a bathroom with another man holding her hand. Shut the fuck up. Are you serious? We are relieved that the president and those attending the White House Correspondents' Dinner are safe and deeply grateful to Secret Service. Wait a minute. Why is AIPAC tweeting this? Wait, is Cash getting fired or cucked? Sean McCreesh is my GOAT, by the way. That's the one who asked that banger question to Donald Trump. If you remember, I met him at the Vanity Fair party. I'm one of the small number of journalists traveling to the White House press pool tonight. We were in a hall just outside the ballroom when the commotion first rang out. Several things happened in quick succession. Tuxedoed agents pulled out guns and began running towards the ballroom. White-jacketed caterers screamed and bolted for stairwells. Pandemonium reigned as top cabinet officials were evacuated. Robert Kennedy Jr. and his wife, Cheryl Hines, came out and were ushered into an elevator. Then Janine Pirro emerged. The FBI director, Kash Patel, came tearing across the hallway with two men in tow. His girlfriend was hiding in a room with another man who was holding her hand. Oh! Cash Patel is both fired and cucked at the same night, bro. Ooh, sure. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. Reporters are about to be taken back into the ballroom. The show will go on, apparently. Where's Usher? Oh, no. That's fucked up, bro. That is fucked up. He's fired and cucked at the same time, dude. Yeah, McCreesh, that is nasty, dude. God damn, that is nastiness. That is some nasty business. Hey, that's good. What's the term? Good gumshoe reporting. God damn. Pic and video of suspect on the ground. So he's not dead. We saw that. Whoa, what the fuck? Oh, yeah, he's not. They just stripped him. Change your title. So no dinner. That means gaming is back on the docket, right? Man, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? The event that the president went to was just shot at potentially. Obviously, I have to cover that. Shooter apprehended. I'm just going to say shooter stopped because that's correct. Trump's wheeze were neek. Okay, dude. Don't let my tweet change who you are. Prezzo. Maybe don't do that. Man. I got enough shit on me right now, dude. I can't believe Cash Patel got cucked. That's crazy. That's the craziest event of the night. Van is talking. Oh, what's he saying?
Everything, but like people are in trouble. And the despair is running over. And who's going to talk about that? Who's going to address that?
One thing I'll be curious, especially you're talking about this happening even at this event. I'll be curious to understand not only the target, but I want to know the state of the suspect.
Yeah.
Because that is going to be one of the most important sources of information of what has happened tonight. And especially we read from the Secret Service talking about, as you noted, they're investigating a shooting incident near the main magnetometer screening area. Was it effective? Was this person intercepted in this way, which of course would be a very important detail to understand. And let's not forget as well that as you mentioned, Scott, and we've talked about some of the people at the beginning of this dinner who were present in the room.
Yeah.
Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk. You have people who are civilians who may or may not have had their own experiences with gun violence in this country. And as we know, gun violence, Steve Scalise also there, a victim of gun violence as well. And there are others who we are not naming in the moment as well. And just to think about the prevalence of gun violence more broadly.
I will note, the president on his way to the White House now for a press conference shortly. The entire press corps is in this room right now. They're not going to make it there. I imagine that the people asking the questions, to the extent that there will be questions, will be the White House pool, which is a limited, very small group of reporters who will be able to travel with the president and ask him questions there. But this is...
Yeah.
It's so surreal. It is so surreal that the president, everyone who covers him, all there for this. They're all leaving now, the members of the press leaving. But what we do know for sure at this point is that there is a suspect in custody.
Our boy Sean is in the press pool, so he will ask some interesting questions, I assume.
And those involved,
potentially
their
for the New York
condition not
Times.
yet known.
Those involved, their condition not yet known. But the president's okay. The cabinet's okay. We have not seen or heard any ambulances taking anyone from inside that event. So we think everyone in the event is okay, and they certainly look okay. And the pictures that we are seeing now, I have to say, I'm sure they're all just relieved, frankly, that it's gone on the way it has. We have Wolf Blitzer with us, and Wolf has been crucial in understanding the course of this event because, Wolf, you were really the first witness to tell us what happened.
Fuck.
That there did appear to be a shooter.
Magnetometers, as if
fucking Wolf Blitzer, man. Another drunk Wolf Blitzer certified classic.
I don't know if he was just in there waiting or whatever, but it was clearly in a secure area where we assumed everybody had gone through metal detectors and was cleared to go into the ballroom. And all of a sudden, I'm walking right near the shooter, and all of a sudden I start hearing gunshots. And the next thing I knew,
I will say one thing. Like, this is another instance where everyone is going to be like polite, and it's going to take like a week of yelling at people to be like, "Oh, the president could have almost been shot and killed. How dare you?" Some people are going to crack jokes. Not me. I would never do that. Okay. And then eventually it's going to turn into another Kirkification moment for like average people won't give a fuck about it. Most people are just watching the game. They don't give a shit. And
for me personally and for everyone who was nearby. And to see this unfold as quickly as it did, and I must say, I give law enforcement a lot of credit because they moved very quickly, risking their own lives in the process. There's a shooter with gunshots, and they took this guy down, and, you know, the process, they took me down too. They took me down to save me, which was good because I didn't know where this guy was aiming. But the gunshots were so loud, so frightening, that it scared all of us, and we had no idea what was going on.
He fell getting rushed off stage?
My gut was that out of an abundance of caution, because the shooter was inside the secure area, they should definitely have canceled the event for tonight and told everyone to go home as quickly as possible. I'm now in the lobby of the Washington Hilton Hotel, and you see hundreds of people coming up the escalator, going to the lobby, getting ready to go home. If there are cars waiting, or if they're walking, or whatever they're doing, taking an Uber, but they're all leaving, and it was just a very, very frightening, scary moment indeed. And thank God, you know, everybody inside was okay, and I don't know if anyone was injured at all. But,
you just said you're not going to make light of the situation? Come on, man. An old man falling like that? That's funny. Like, I'm sorry. It's the president. He fell. Like, do you really think I can't laugh at that? I'm a human being.
And thrown to the ground, and presumably his weapon taken away. But it was just a very.
And Wolf, I'm sorry. Did you see the type of weapon, or
alone? If there were others there, so they just took everybody, and they tried to save us and make sure that we were secure. Which I was grateful for at the time.
We know that the motorcade is leaving as well.
In the lobby, you see hundreds of the guests, of the people who were in the ballroom, just coming up the escalator and trying to leave as quickly as they can, which is clear.
Imagine if Germany wasn't such a fucking asshole about it. These guys would be currently ripping P90s instead. That's right. They used the MP7s, which, you know, a lot of people think is the best possible weapon due to Call of Duty, popularizing it. But initially it was supposed to be the P90. That was supposed to be like the NATO weapon. But Germany was like, nope, abso-fucking-lutely not. HK made the MP7 in its stead. And the P90 was cooked. Yes, MP7 was inferior in every test ever conducted compared to the P90. It's true. That guy's a badge? Yeah, no shit, dude. This is not the shooter. This is the Secret Service.
Held an historic site, I might add, for people who recall in 1981 an assassination attempt of President Ronald Reagan. Sarah, can you tell us what you're seeing out there and what you know, given the number of people in that room?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the number of people in the room, the number of cabinet members alone in that room, there are going to be some big questions about security and how this happened, because I will tell you that those magnums that you all are talking about are very far into the venue. When you first come in, mostly what they asked was they wanted to see your ticket. That allowed you to sort of get to the door where you did the sort of red carpet, if you will. And every single cabinet member almost went to the red carpet. And when we walked in that door, there were no checks on our bodies. They did not do any checks of what we had with us at that point. And so that may have been where the shooter entered or how the shooter entered, although we don't yet know that. But it takes a while, and you know this well, John, it takes a while before you get to those magnometers, before they start checking your person, before they start checking your purses, for example. So there will be a lot of questions about security here. What we did see is some real deep, disturbed emotions in that room, one of whom was Erica Kirk. As I was walking out of the venue trying to figure out what happened and what we could find out as a reporter, as we're walking out,
Bro, Erica Kirk wasn't there when Charlie Kirk got shot. They're making it seem like she has like post-traumatic stress sort of from being shot in the direction of Charlie Kirk or something.
Imagine her distress as she's sitting there hearing the same thing that we all heard, which was gunshots, and knowing what happened to her husband, and being
Drew's
in that
calling
scenario.
for your arrest. He's Australian.
She looked visibly terrified as she was being escorted out, and then we saw her again once she was outside of the building, kind of being surrounded.
even people who are haters of mine are like, what the fuck is this?
Completely. We also saw Senator Fetterman and his wife, who were also trying to figure out where to go, how to leave, how to move out of the way. There was chaos. There were moments where people weren't sure what they were supposed to do, stay inside the ballroom or leave. But we are seeing quite an apparatus out here. We did see ambulances, but they were not in the kind of scenario that you have all seen when there is someone who needs to be taken to the hospital. They were sort of sitting and waiting with their lights going. And then we saw quite a few police vehicles coming and going throughout this particular area. And then a while ago, we saw them put up the crime scene tape here, which has moved out further than it was initially. Just down here, I'm on Columbus in California. Just down here where you see all of those lights, that is where the Hilton is. That is where this occurred. But I think someone mentioned this, and I don't know if it was Van Jones or who mentioned that there's this sickness. And you saw the result of the sickness with gun violence. You saw the result of that in this room while people are saying—
left? Here, do you want to give a comment to the stream? We were watching you. They can't hear you, though. If you want, I can put the microphone on the phone if you want. I know. Wait, you want me to wait? I'm gonna put you up to the mic now. You're on mic.
Sure. Yeah, I asked if they could let me leave.
Wait, really?
Because, yeah, I did. Yeah, I asked if I could leave the show.
Damn. You should have stayed on. Now they're going to put Van Jones back in, and he's going to do the state of the conversation instead.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, like there's no Hasan. It's like, what are we going what is what's the discussion?
I know.
Discussion,
this happens so
like,
frequently. That's what's so crazy about it. Like there was a guy. I don't know if you remember this. There was a guy who went to Mar-a-Lago with a gun. It was a former Trump fan. He went to Mar-a-Lago with a gun, and he got shot and killed because he wanted to do. He wanted to assassinate the president. It happens so frequently at this point, and it's so crazy that this is like every time it happens, we just set the clock back. We reset it. Like
that is not the forum to have this discussion, because the forum to have not to me at least, all I'm gonna do is look like a raging lunatic up there, because this conversation, yeah, I care about the fact that people felt unsafe in that place tonight. They were trying to celebrate the industry, but people feel unsafe in churches. They feel unsafe in schools. They feel unsafe protesting in Minnesota. Like, it's just, I don't feel like coming off all sanctimonious and all of that. The conversation
Also, if you say that, they're going to say, oh, you're undermining this like actually severe situation, as opposed to all those other instances where like real people are also feeling threatened and sometimes getting shot, because those are little people. Those are ordinary people. This is an extraordinary situation.
I mean, maybe. I mean, they actually might like it, but honestly, it's probably, and I fuck with everybody up at CNN and they're good to me, but honestly, it's probably, I don't know, man. It's just like, this is the reality of the space that we're in right now.
Yeah.
So overtly grotesque that I kind of don't want to do it on TV, honestly, bro.
I feel you. There's people on the timeline like they got a boss call blaming me for it right now. There's like mad people being like, they're saying that I'm the Democrats' new darling, and I want death and destruction, and I'm like the one who is inciting all this violence. And it's like, bro, I'm a Twitch streamer.
You talking about just in general.
Yeah, they're saying, yeah. They're like, oh, Hasan is the reason for this, which is crazy, because it's like, if I'm capable of inciting violence with my language, what the fuck is the president inciting? The same president that they're defending.
Here's the deal, though. The symptom of a really sophisticated virus is that everyone thinks it's coming from someplace that it's not coming from. Like the symptom of a really sophisticated, a really truly entrenched disease or pathogen is that it tricks you and it makes you desperate to blame other parts of the body. Like, oh, we think it's here, we think it's there, we think it's here, we think it's there. We don't have any intellectual cohesion on what the source of it is. So we go through all of this stuff until we're knocked back on our ass and we hope that we luck up on a solution. The real solution to this is that our political and social fabric has just been decimated under the influence of this fucking guy. And we can keep, it's not like America was ever, I'm a black man from the South. I'm gonna stop like being hyper verbose after this. It's not like America was ever a super safe place for me. But the reality of what this country is now is this, we can't, that's not the right forum for me to get my shit off on it.
I feel you.
Happy in a couple of weeks. Yeah, that's just not the right forum for me to get my shit on it. That's for them.
Are you coming back to LA, or are you going to be in New York? I'm going to be in New York next week.
I'm going to be in New York next week. I think I'm going to do Abby next week. They don't care that I left the show. Like, I asked, they were cool with it. Everybody up there is cool. Not about them, but like, yeah, I'll be in New York next week to do Abby. Yeah.
All right, I'll see you there.
All right, bro. Peace.
All right, bye. Here, X video, the shooter. Yeah, we this is an image unconfirmed. Yeah, we saw this already. I think they stripped him too. There's a photo of him totally stripped with like the wrap around him. That was Van Lathan. He was just on CNN. Security update. Cash is so fired. Bro, Cash is so cooked and so cooked. Something I noticed even before coming into the White House Correspondents Association dinner was that the security was only outside the ballroom, inside, not outside the building. So the entrance of the building did not have security machine, only guards. You only went through the screening before the ballroom. Oh my God. I mean, I guess that might be normal. I'm kind of shocked. I'm actually kind of shocked at how anyone could get that close. Can you please call Brace Belden? He's not there, chat. Fox correspondent claims to have attempted shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner is 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen from Torrance, California, and he's in custody. Oh, shit. Brace is currently being strip searched. Not normal. I worked at a venue during an event that Trump attended. Why did that New York Times reporter randomly drop the T on Cash's girlfriend? That's so fucking funny. Excuse me. That's real reporting, okay? It happened. He saw it. He had to write it down. Sometimes you see things and you don't even think. Good reporters, they sometimes observe and they write it down immediately. They type it out and they don't even know what that would lead to, okay? It's a butterfly effect. You know, if Cash Patel is getting cucked amidst this attempted shooting, then we have to know about it. That's called accuracy in reporting. That's called good journalism. Yeah, shooter apparently identified as Cole Thomas Allen from Torrance, California, 31 years old. Not looking good. Because as you know, most people will just immediately do profiles. And even though 90% of the time is a Trump supporter, all it matters is the one time where it's not, you know, for them to immediately clamp on anyone and everyone. But then again, we don't know yet. We don't know. We'll wait. What I will say, though, 100% confirmed, Cash Patel's girlfriend was holding the hand of another man while this incident was taking place. We do know that. That's a real thing that happened. That is confirmed. It's in the paper of record, the gray lady. I just want you to know that's, you know, that's out there, okay? We haven't confirmed the actual shooter's identity yet, alleged shooter's identity yet. But
in the way of essentially taking that bullet for the president if that's what's necessary. So yeah, this is it. This is like the Secret Service doing their thing right in front of the entire world.
Andy, stand by. I just want to reread. It's just past the top of the hour at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, just to bring people up to speed at what's happened. This was the night where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was supposed to take place. But let me read you a statement from the Secret Service that describes, in the best detail we have of what happened. It said the U.S. Secret Service, in coordination with the Metropolitan Police Department, is investigating a shooting incident near the main magnetometer screening area at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The president and first lady are safe, along with all protectees. One individual is in custody. The condition of those involved is not yet known, and law enforcement is actively assessing the situation. The president delivering a statement very shortly at the White House. We will, of course, bring that to you live the minute it happens. The vice president evacuated. We learned the Speaker of the House also evacuated. Literally, the constitutional line of succession was all there, and they are all okay. We are here watching this unfold.
I guess going forward, whenever like any violent incident takes place or attempted violent incident takes place, every Republican is going to be like, we should kill Hasan Piker. You know? I guess that's what it is, right? Like every single one of them.
when this happened, it was Steve Scalise, the House Republican Majority Leader, who grabbed him and threw him into a secure location. Of course, Steve Scalise himself was shot years ago in the congressional baseball game. One other thing that I think should be noted, the Secret Service is an agency that it exists in the Department of Homeland Security, which has been shut down and not funded for 70 plus days. So when I think about watching these Secret Service agents and their heroism and what they have to do, they're currently working in an agency that, for many, many, many weeks now has not been taken care of. So I suspect members of Congress are going to have to confront that. And it started this past week, but that's got to get fixed.
Look, I think that they obviously just did an extraordinary job, and the people I'm hearing from are shaken up. Look, people respond differently. I've been shot at. It's a very weird experience because bullets are when you're playing cops and robbers, you just go bang bang, people fall down. Bullets are physical things, and they move past you faster than you can react. And nobody knows how their body is going to respond in a situation like that. So some people get very stoic, some people get very emotional, some people are fine for 2 days and then afterwards they completely crash. So you're going to have, unfortunately, a huge psychological impact for people with lots of responsibility in this country. People who are running agencies, bureaus, people who are running news organizations. So we have to be aware of that. I do think that the people who wanted the show to go on were people who were trying to figure out some way for this not to be a complete disaster. I have to say,
I adore your dedication to sticking to facts, even at moments of heat, no matter how heated it gets. With Kash Patel's girlfriend and another man, yes. This is the Piker Broadcasting Service, also known as the People's Broadcasting Service, sponsored by you, the people, for you, the people. Only the most trusted, most accurate name in news. I'm going to give you only the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. In times of misinformation, especially on the internet, when people are trying to figure out, was Kash Patel's girlfriend actually holding the hand of another man or not, I'm going to tell you what the truth is, right? Like, unless it is a confirmed report from verified, reliable resources, reliable sources on the ground, I'm not going to fucking tell you Kash Patel is getting cucked unless I have the evidence, right? Which is precisely the reason why I haven't yet confirmed the other stuff, except for the fact that Kash Patel's girlfriend was holding the hand of another man during the shooting that took place. So, crazy way to find out. Was hiding in a room with another man who was holding her hand. Crazy way to find out. On the night that he is potentially about to be fired, which makes it even crazier. Damn, Trump got a mentalist for this shit and he couldn't even predict the shooting. That's what you think. The mentalist, I didn't see him. Did you? Maybe he knew. Maybe he could predict it and he tried to warn people and they were like, shut up. Magic is fake.
Home and again, another attempt possibly on Trump or another violent attack on somebody. I think it's overwhelming to people and they want someone to get up and make some sense of something this senseless.
They also, I think, want to learn as much as they possibly can, and the details are scant right now. One piece of new information, this is coming from our reporting team. A U.S. Secret Service agent was shot at the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night. The bullet struck the agent's protective gear, okay? And the agent was taken to a local hospital. The agent's condition not immediately clear, but the fact that the protective gear is part of that statement, let's hope that means this officer is in good condition. We now have with us CNN Chief Law Enforcement Analyst John Miller. John, you have so many great sources. What are you learning now at this stage of the evening?
What the fuck? That was the mentalist when Donald Trump was getting... Whoa.
Who is this suspect? What was the motive? They are obviously doing background into that. What we know from law enforcement sources who have been briefed on the matter is, according to identification found on the suspect after he was taken down, he is a 30-year-old man from the Los Angeles area of California. They are working on his background, any potential criminal record, social media, and all of the rest of the things you think they would be doing. As you've been reporting, the details are still relatively sketchy, but what we are told is that there was the set of magnetometers, and as he approached the magnetometers, there was this confrontation and shots fired. The Secret Service agent was hit, we are told, in the vest, but as you know, this is all preliminary.
Dog, I was here, okay? Like, shut up. 30-year-old from California, not Los Angeles, I don't think. At least that's what they said. He's a LA area, but I guess Torrance is LA area, right?
Who are at those magnetometers, the people whose job it is to be that front line of making sure that anybody who gets through those
eating as Trump was being escorted
is now part of the sterile crowd, meaning they can't be armed, they can't have anything on them that could be dangerous. Those are the Secret Service uniform division. They wear white shirts and black pants and badges, look like normal police, and they are that front line. Beyond that, of course, is the Secret Service plainclothes agents who guard the president and are spread throughout that building. So we don't know
That's crazy.
Who was involved in the initial confrontation, but there's some likelihood that that encounter would have started with the uniform division at those magnetometers. So we don't know how far, when they get to this press conference at the White House, how far they will go into the details of whether they've identified the gunman or his background, but they're working on those details. And at this point, so are we.
30-year-old male in custody, reports John Miller from California. That is all new information. A 30-year-old male from California. Any sense of the condition that the suspect is in, John?
Well, that's been a point of confusion. We were told initially, and this was literally within the first minute. So the earlier the information it is, the less reliable it is. We were told that he was taken down, the suspect was down, the suspect was dead. The terms they're using now were apprehended and in custody, which are suggestive that he has not succumbed to those injuries. So we'll have to sort through that as well as we go.
Thank you very much for making that clear, because again, the initial report different than what we think we are hearing now. We are just hearing in custody at this point, a 30-year-old male from California. And another point I just want to reiterate that you said is, as we are getting more information, the fact that this happened near the metal detectors, it's possible that the security here did what it was supposed to do. I mean, there are going to be questions. Obviously, need to review every aspect of this, but it is possible. One possibility is that the precautions they had in place are what kept this from being a true disaster tonight.
And of course, we heard from Wolf Blitzer about the location where he witnessed at least the gunman being brought down. You are seeing right now on your screen the White House press briefing room, because we were told by the President of the United States that he intends to speak within the 30 minutes. We are actually around that time right now as to when to expect him to speak. He would have come back from the Washington, D.C. Hilton, where this shooting took place. We still have a lot of questions. Number one, more information about who this shooter is, the motivation here, who was the intended target, the condition of the Secret Service officer who was struck in the vest, the condition of that suspect as well. And you can believe, as Jonathan Miller talked about,
Connor, the man's about to lose his job. Hey, man, I just read in the New York Times that your girlfriend is cheating on you. Connor! He's about to lose his job and his girlfriend at the same night. Oh, by the way, C-SPAN. Robert Skvarla is watching C-SPAN right now. The callers think the assassination attempt was stage law. I'm a Midwestern normal mother, and they had a mentalist there for the first time because the president doesn't take jokes well. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but it doesn't feel right. This is also part of the reason why, like these guys will be like, Hasan is doing violent rhetoric. I'm like, bro, you really need to see what the average person thinks. Like, I told you, like, it's going to be instant. Like, instantly, people are just going to be like, yeah, no, that's not real. That's fake. It's a good number of people, I think, at this point, sincerely believe that this shooting, this one was staged. Okay, the fight one, like a solid number of people. Also, an even larger number of people fucking hate the president. So, you know, I'm not a fan of violence, as you guys know. Famously, people lie and say I am, but I'm not. I don't like chaos. I don't like instability. I'm a homebody, right? But like a lot of these people don't understand how normal people feel about shit, you know? Like, things are fucked up. Insane AM radio host lady. What did you know? What? Dana Loesch? NBA Twitter's hilarious right now. They're saying to out the Wolves Nuggets game on. What? Because no one cares about this bullshit Lamau? Yeah, always the ones with the fucking Bible verse in their bio that say unhinged shit like this. Meghan McCain being normal. I don't want to hear one more fucking criticism of Trump's new ballroom at the White House. What? What the fuck does that even mean? Just say everything? No, chatters. Again, jokes do not fly any longer, okay? They used to, but they do not anymore. What? Unfortunately, the First Lady and I had to be evacuated from the White House Correspondents' Dinner alongside the President and the entire cabinet. This event is yet another reason the President Donald Trump's ballroom should be built. What? Braces on the ground, important. Chatter, are you fucking serious? He's fucking joking. He's literally spreading misinformation. Please. We already joked about it. Okay. All of these people talking about the ballroom. Are you ready for this? Watch this. All of these like people all of a sudden talking about the ballroom moments after this shooting, this alleged attempted shooting took place, is going to make every liberal go, oh, he didn't even stage the fake assassination attempt to make himself look good. He staged it so he could justify the ballroom. It will 100% be tomorrow's news today. That's the PBS guarantee. I'm telling you right now, tomorrow's news today. If Donald Trump says, this is why we need a ballroom, every fucking Blue Anon, and not even just Blue Anon, fuck it. It'll be like normie libs, PhD having normie libs are going to turn around and be like, oh, you see this shit? He staged it himself to attempt to get the ballroom going so that no one can criticize Donald Trump's fucking ballroom. Because I don't give a fuck about the ballroom, right? I don't give a fuck about it at all. But for some reason, it's the one thing that got every liberal the most pissed. Okay? Like, I care about the other shit that Trump does. You know, like double tapping a fucking little girls' school in Iran. Like, those are the things I care about. But a lot of liberals, I remember a lot of liberals and independents as well a lot of liberals and independents actually turned away from Trump because the ballroom stuff was happening at the same time that the furlough stuff was happening, because they had they were like weeks into the government shutdown, right? And that was when a lot of independents pulled out. They were like, "Nah, I'm done. I can't deal with it." They hated it at the time. I'm telling you.
The suspect who is at the Hilton, as CNN reported just a few moments ago, we're waiting to see what it is that the White House has learned. And I just wanted to know, John, that in the room, the cabinet secretaries and top administration officials are kind of seated sporadically at random tables. So you could see there was a difficulty in security going and making sure they could get to every cabinet member. I was seated next to the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, in that moment. And I mean, we were both crouched on the floor, sitting next to each other, waiting to see what was going on and learn more from the service and the security that was inside the room. So obviously we're waiting to see what the president himself has learned and what he'll say when he comes out here to the briefing room in just a few moments. But it's a heroic effort even just to get these reporters inside here, many of them running, some physically running from the Hilton to get here as we raced over to make it to this press briefing. Obviously at 10:17 p.m. on a Saturday night, in itself an incredibly rare occurrence, John.
Caitlin, and I don't want to make light of this situation, but we could all use a smile right now. This will be the best dressed press briefing, I think, in the history of the White House, with all the reporters dressed for a black tie event. It just gets to the absolute surreal nature of what Caitlin and all of our friends have been through tonight, and what we've watched play out before our eyes. I mean, we saw it happening in this camera that was focused in the room as the president was being
He didn't mean it misogynistically. It was a weird segue. I thought as much. I thought as much as well, but that's not. He was just trying to make a joke about how like everyone's dressed so well.
There is a suspect in custody right now. Shots were fired at or near the security area of the Washington Hilton Hotel outside the White House Correspondents' Dinner, but that everyone is okay.
A Secret Service member was shot in the protective vest, it appears. We're waiting to see the condition of that Secret Service member. But just so we can help the audience understand, I mean, we're talking about literally minutes into the start of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You had the White House Correspondents Association president speaking, thanking the White House press secretary, thanking the President of the United States for having been at this event, and the First Lady. We saw the announcement of people being in the room as well. You heard the anthem and other things starting to play, and within moments of being told to enjoy their dinner, suddenly we were brought back into the room by chaos that was unfolding, and Secret Service members bum rushing the stage and weapons being drawn as people were crouching under their tables. And we had just talked about some of the people who were crouching at those tables. We're talking about the line of succession who was there as well. It is unfathomable to think about that. And of course, members of the press, civilians, human beings, not only in the room, in the lobby. This is not a hotel that shuts down just because the White House Correspondents' Dinner is being held there. You have a huge tourism boom in Washington, D.C., people who are outside as well. And of course, Andrew McCabe, I want to bring you in here because it is so important to hear about, you talk about soft versus hard targets. We have no idea who the target was here. There are a lot of assumptions being made as the reporting is coming in fast and furiously. But talk to me about the idea that you're talking about a crime scene that is the length of a city block practically in Washington, D.C. Wait, Caitlin, can we hear more from you? Go ahead, Caitlin.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know we just got a 2-minute warning. That means the president is imminently coming out here to address the press corps. So we will hear from the president himself, who is offering a lot of the updates. I mean, we were hearing that the gunman was dead. We were hearing multiple reports, but obviously, understandably, it was breaking news situation. A lot of reporters in one ballroom asking people for information. And the president himself was the one who said and confirmed that the suspect had been apprehended by law enforcement. So he'll be out here momentarily, and we'll obviously see who joins him, if anyone from the cabinet joins him, and what he has to say about this experience as he was sitting there on stage, obviously, as all of this was going on.
So important. John Miller was just reporting to us as well, Andrew McCabe, about some identifying details of this suspect.
Angelica, I'm gonna
give us some context to what you were hearing.
Andy,
Andrew, go ahead.
Andy, 30-year-old male, we should say, from California. Those are the only details we have right now. Suspect in custody. Sorry to interrupt you, Andy.
Yeah, that's okay, John. So obviously we're going to learn a lot more about this person as the hours and days go on. But really the preliminary question for me is are we talking about someone who simply
So the guy that they're pointing to might not be the guy.
And then engaged
Because the guy that they're pointing to was light skinned. He was black.
The magnetometer and actually engaged the firearm in the
we don't know if he's
cleared
white or
kind
not
of,
yet. I wouldn't.
That's how that question is answered is going to really, I think, set the tone of the conversation around this attempted attack, if that's in fact what it was, for the next several days. There will be a lot of questions to answer at the Secret Service if that person got through the security perimeter with a firearm.
And that is one of the key questions here, the absolute layout of the room, how far the person got, the disposition of that person as he was going through security. I don't know if we'll hear that from the president. The president does have a tendency to be the first provider of information that sometimes you would normally hear from law enforcement officials. So obviously we are all on the edge of our seats waiting to learn more here. Caitlin was describing the situation as all the reporters who cover all the major events in Washington were in the Washington Hilton, and now many of them have tried to get to that room you're looking at right now where this briefing is about to take place. We were given a 2-minute warning about 2 minutes ago. That can be a little bit squishy.
Some even running from the location of that Hilton down to the White House, which of course you're talking about over what 2 miles down Connecticut Avenue. Essentially, it's a long way, but just the ferocity of which they're trying to get to the location, because obviously the President of the United States was not going to speak from that location. And you also down there, you see Kash Patel, the FBI director who was at this dinner as well. You see Secretary Kennedy, who was there as well. Essie, you've been watching very closely by the people who are in this room and the impact of what this could mean.
Well, I was watching tonight to see if Kash Patel was going to come for other reasons because he's suing a journalism outfit right now. But we just saw him, tuxed out as a guest. The nation's top law enforcement officer was in this room tonight, which is remarkable and has so many implications. What did he see? What will he mobilize? I mean, was he a target? We have no idea.
The acting attorney general, the U.S. attorney for Washington.
These are very important people. Forgetting the politics of these people, these are very important people in the country, and they were all in this room.
Yo, he couldn't even monitor the situation with his girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Really, really fascinating.
Secretary Hegseth there as well. Right. I mean, just the number of people, which is part of why this was such an important night, that many of these people had.
Is there more information about what Kash Patel's girlfriend was doing? Very important. Okay? The left is evil. By the way, all these cucks have fucking blocked me, so I can't even respond to them. That's like Gunther Eagleman. Like every single one of them chirps at me from behind the block. The left loves violence. It's their brand. Remember in November, blah, blah, blah. All this shit. Barack Ravid reposted this with the shooter's alleged name. By the way, Barack Ravid, his first tweet was crazy. His first tweet literally had the Israeli flag on it. I don't know why. Did you see the Erica Kirk video? I want to go home. I'm having a hard time showing that because I don't want to show that because I feel like if I show that, I'm going to say some shit. And then on behalf of the trans community, we'd like to thank you for taking the heat on this one, big dog. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're right. Low key. Low consensually. Yeah, they went, instead of blaming Antifa and trans, they blamed me instead this time. So there you go. Hey, listen. Listen, there it is. There it is, you know? Your fave Israeli LARPer tweeted about you too. What is happening, bro? It's a network. It's a network. They all got activated at the same time. I feel like we're watching it happen in real time. Isn't that crazy? Like, am I like, how is this the new talking point for the entire right? Bots for sure. It's not. Are they all in like the same group chat or some shit?
And Brian, just so you know, and I don't even know that you know this.
There's a lot I don't know.
We saw what was happening on the screen.
Oh my God, he
which was
posted
hard
him.
To tell. Yeah. And then we didn't know anything. And the very first bit of information we got was from you, and your first instinct was to basically FaceTime and start reporting. So thank you for being such a great reporter.
Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you for doing what you did.
The only other time that's ever happened to me at CNN was a little bit like this night. It was the night there was a bomb threat at CNN in New York, and our old colleague Don Lemon was anchoring. We had to evacuate out of that building, and I happened to live nearby, so I walked over. I think I used Skype because it was pre-COVID, and so we ended up going live on the street. And that night reminds me a little bit of this because no matter what, people need to know what happened. People need to know what's going on, and so we kept the show going, kept the broadcast going. But and I went streaming to talk to you, John, live on air, and it didn't seem.
The Cole Allen guy. Who was teacher of the month. That's crazy. That's him. All right, get to work. Light skins on high alert. Okay, guys, no jokes. I mean, Trump posted the surveillance video. What the fuck is this guy doing, bro? I mean, I don't know if I can show this. Or, well, I guess no one died, but let me just watch anyway.
It looked like he checked it twice.
Let me watch it real quick.
Lieutenant Hudson, you monitoring this area?
Oh my God. Oh my God. He was fucking zooming, bro. Okay, here it is. Trump is already, he's talking. All right. Where is he yapping? Where's he yapping? Let's hear what.
Freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did.
I gotta pee.
Because
I bet you he will talk about the ballroom. I think he's gonna talk about the ballroom.
I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from
for tomorrow's news today. Piker Broadcasting Service, pre-watch Piker. Tomorrow's news today.
As they were supposed
inside
to.
Job,
You see the
inside job narratives.
Different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story, and in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement.
Bro, why is Kash Patel right there looking like he did it, bro? Kash Patel's standing right next to the president looking like he was the motherfucker who was trying to do the shooting.
We have to resolve our differences. I will say
he just always looks
you have
guilty.
Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet, everybody in that room, big crowd.
Oh, here we go.
Crowd. There was a record-setting group of people, and there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But we were, First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondents. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So
I mean, is this going to boost his approval ratings? I don't think so. I think people just fucking hate him. It don't matter.
You've been very responsible in your
Maybe he'll be able to get some pickups on independents who were like on the margins, but I just don't think
Todd
like.
Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have Cash, and then you're going to go on. We can ask. I guess we can take a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Cash. I was gonna fire you, but I heard your girlfriend was holding another man's hand earlier, so
experience
I guess
for her.
Not fired yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir.
Yeah, the ballroom thing was a huge reason, weirdly enough, for why they hate him. Like why independents and boomers like checked out. That was a big turning point in his approval ratings. So I think people who hate him now are just going to say like, nah, the ballroom thing, like this assassination attempt was like staged so that he could justify the ballroom. You ain't slick. I think that's what people are going to say.
The very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you
Bro, by the way, that dude was booking it. I saw the CCTV footage. He was fast as fuck.
And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly. And you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will leave the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage, and I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security
fired, bitch.
and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the President and the Vice President that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started. And we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Merlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a
that's
couple
that
and then we
fear
go
talking.
to Madam Chairman. I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay. And after that, it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats, in that moment when you realized there was a threat.
Oh God, they're already glazing him. Oh, it's so fucking cooked.
Can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling?
Oh my God. Oh my God. The fucking White House press pool is going to be like, oh, we all got through this together. Aren't you such a hero, Mr. President? How heroic were your thoughts?
In fact, we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. You know, I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly, other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, that's a bad noise. And we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it, because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said what. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
How much you want to bet he's a Hasan Piker fan? He's a brown, light-skinned black Democrat from California who's also a teacher.
His weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But
I've studied assassinations. I'm just like JFK and Abraham Lincoln.
The biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much, because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country. And there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor?
Well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know. You know, I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you know, you never know. He was very far away from me.
I'm worried that like some fucking Newsmax reporter or some psycho is going to be like, have you heard about this guy who's been inciting a lot of violence?
In disguise, sitting maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over
I think
the room,
Hosgord is trying to get you killed. Guys, please stop joking around, please.
And they got him.
I'm fucking begging you, dude. You're playing with fucking fire.
We've had there was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead, Kevin.
Do you know any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. You know, he's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Yes, sir.
And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing. No, I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. You know, they had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detailees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think.
Absolutely.
I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, you know, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. There's you, as well as some of us who have covered Butler experience
2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You know, you had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it, now, you know, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was, so in a sense, you know, that was pretty amazing, the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot, as you know. They should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly. And he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight, but I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just it's not my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. And they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, you know, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly, you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
All violence. You know, I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story, race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same, 10% of 1%, much less than 1%.
What?
But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. It's part of the job. It is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous. But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happened. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of, members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics in America anymore?
Yeah, well,
what does that say about our
elsewhere
country?
Too. We're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was
it happens.
talking to
It happens
somebody from
everywhere. Fuck
another
it.
country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America. In South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff. Whether it's here or someplace else, no country is immune. No country. Good question.
It's actually kind of remarkable he's not blaming the left, which is
Probably
good.
If I decided to just not do much.
There's something very strange about us, this country in particular, saying, we just violence everywhere. Yeah, man, we do it. We do the violence everywhere.
Military, we're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it in my first term.
Oh, here we go.
And now
He's
we
back.
use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon. And they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years.
The
They were
Dow.
saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I seek to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. We did it in 1 year, and I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your
I
leadership?
like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times. She said, you are in a dangerous job. But that goes along with her, too. I mean, it's dangerous for her, too. We sat there tonight. We heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
President Trump, can we hear from the first lady talked about how impactful this was? Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
Huh?
One in the back, sir.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive.
Oh, my God.
What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are, They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts.
What?
So it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was
fast as fuck.
On tape. He was moving.
I watched the tape. He was fast as fuck, dude. It was crazy.
Because a lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast.
I'll show you guys in a second.
They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing. We really do, but it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to.
Wait, what?
Some of
Is
our
he
greatest
talking about the
presidents,
shooter now?
and
Like he wanted to do a great job.
It doesn't happen to people that don't do anything, and it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with. I
don't know what
think
Matt
so,
Dillon is.
based on what we know, but
I don't know what that reference is.
We're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do.
Did he mean Matt Damon?
We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
That was it.
And that was President Trump live at the White House. It is 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the East Coast at about 8:20 p.m.
That's it. That was the White House press conference. Here is the motherfucking shooter, fast as fuck. You'll see he pops up right here in a second. Look. Just whizzes by, dude. That was wild. I've never seen nothing like it. Anyway, shooter is a Caltech and CSU alum with several years of experience as a mechanical engineer. He is now a teacher. And his LinkedIn is Caltech Bachelor of Science. This is all verified, by the way. And yeah, now he's a part-time teacher. And they found that he registered as a no-party preference voter in LA County. Public records return a Caltech email address for the Cole, Thomas, Allen in Torrance. FEC records show a single $25 contribution via Act Blue. He made a video game? Wait, really? Wait, y'all are so fucking fast. That's crazy. Y'all found this shit. Actually? Bro said this is a technically skill-based, non-violent, asymmetrical fighting game loosely derived from chemistry model that itself is loosely based on reality. Bro, this dude was a whole ass nerd. What was he doing? Are you sure? Yes, it's listed on his LinkedIn. Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. This is a unique profile for a shooter. Okay? This is, in many ways, a recession indicator. Okay? You got a guy who's a part-time teacher with degrees, who has a unique set of interests. I mean, this is not your regular Butler, Pennsylvania freak with no social media footprint, you know? Very strange situation. Very strange situation. Now, before you say false flag, I'm not going there, but I will I will say that it's the instability is brewing in this country. It's a sign of the times when you got a dude who's a mechanical engineer. Here's Jacqueline Sweet, reliable reporter here. Cole Allen, the alleged shooter at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, is seen here in the image for Caltech's mechanical engineering major page. He's right there in the background. Masters from CSU Dominguez in Comp Sci last year. Here's another photo of Allen from Caltech. Apparently, several reporters, including at CNN and other outlets, follow a close relative of the shooter here on X, likely his sister, and likely from her doing an engineering fellowship at a news outlet as well. I'm STEM, and all we talk about is how we're all going to be unemployed after we graduate. Maybe he's a radical centrist NAFO guy. I don't know. There's a Twitter account that posted the name 2+ years ago. Non-sub can't share a link. I mean, it could be anybody's name. I mean, that's fine. That's not... Is that not unique? Seems like it's not that unique. Seems like you graduated Caltech in 2017, has been massively underemployed / unemployed since 2018. No, usually it's like fucking losers. Alleged shooter speaks from 057 from 2017. Aging into the future conference brings new tech to help seniors.
As to what their imagination was doing.
College student Cole Allen developed a prototype for a wheelchair emergency brake.
The wheelchair brakes tend to lock the wheels, but don't actually lock the chair to the ground. The idea with this...
Okay, never mind. He might be actually one of the centrist, extreme centrist guys. I'm not gonna lie. Could be the case. He sounds like it a little bit.
Is to prevent it from moving at all.
But yeah, normally guys that do this stuff are demonstrating peak antisocial personality disorder, don't have a lot of friends. Like Luigi Mangione was unique in that sense as well. Like he did not fit the average profile of someone who would go out and like shoot someone in fucking broad daylight. Okay? Once again, it's usually people who have nothing to lose that do stuff like this. Like Ryan Ruth was a fucking kook, right? Ryan Ruth was crazy. What the fuck? We lost a generational athlete to the STEM space? True. Right? Whereas this guy doesn't fit that profile at all. Allegedly, stop saying stupid shit. Okay. First of all, pretty sure Ryan Ruth is about to, I mean, he's in jail right now. Luigi allegedly, yes, allegedly. Bro, he got a grad degree in computer science right as AI and layoffs hit. He was about to be perma unemployed. Yeah, but then he did comp sci. The CCTV shows agent getting hit by friendly fire.
Leaving the White House Correspondents' Dinner now, one of the most surreal experiences of my life. Here's what we know in terms of what we think happened. Wolf Blitzer was going to the men's room on a bathroom break and saw all of this. A gunman was trying to get in near the lobby, which is upstairs from the main ballroom, and he apparently shot at one of the agents. There was a bullet hole in the vest, bulletproof vest of one of the agents, and that shooter has now been apprehended, is in police custody. Inside the room, it was like a movie. President Trump, the Secret Service climbed on top of him, the vice president, the members of the cabinet that were in there were all escorted out. Everybody in the room ducked onto the ground. Kind of not knowing what happened. We didn't know that there were gunshots at first. didn't know if it was a protester. It was very unclear what happened. But it was certainly bizarre and scary. And seemed like for a while that they were going to continue the dinner. They've now decided not to continue the dinner, saying that they will bring it back at some point. But just a surreal experience. The good news, the president is safe, vice president is safe, everybody in the room.
It looks like the gunman didn't even fire a shot. We don't have all the details. The guy was rushing B. Do we even know if he has a gun at this point?
Room is safe, but there's a lot of questions now about how did this happen, what will happen with security, and where do we go from here. Live coverage now on CNN.
They're doing a press conference on CNN. We just watched the White House press conference. Oh, here.
Along with our criminal division, our crisis response team.
Oh, fuck. That audio is ass cheeks, bro. Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, I'm the new transgender, by the way, just so you understand. You know how, like, back in the day, they used to say everybody transgender whenever a shooting took place? Shooter's transgender is me now. I'm the new trans panic.
Public should also rest assured that there will be no stone unturned during this investigation. The FBI currently has our Joint Terrorism Task Force here on scene, along with our criminal division, our crisis response team, and agents from across
No, it wasn't a cishet white Republican. We don't know his sexuality.
In this investigation.
But he's a light-skinned black man from California who may or may not have been a liberal.
1-800-CALL-FBI. Thank you.
Director Kern.
Thank you. My name is Sean Kern. I'm the Director of the Secret Service. Tonight, we saw exactly what our brave men and women do each and every day to protect our protectees. It's not easy, and I will tell you that they performed admirably. We got to see what they do, and that individual, when he charged a checkpoint, was apprehended. It shows that our multi-layered protection works, and I'm grateful to our partners that help assist us with building these sites and protecting these sites. Very fortunate that this officer is alive, is being observed, and I'm grateful that the president reached out to this officer and spoke with him earlier. I ask everybody to pray for him and all of our officers and agents that were involved, and I will tell you, we will continue with the mission. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge Pirro.
I'm Janine Pirro. I'm the United States Attorney. Right now, the defendant is being charged with 2 counts, 924C, using a firearm during a crime of violence, and a second crime under 111, which is assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. Now, as you all know, there was an individual, a uniformed Secret Service officer, who was shot. Unfortunately, he is doing all right and he will be fine.
Bro, was it friendly fire or did this dude shoot the officer? Does he even have a firearm?
On doing as much harm and as much damage as he could. And thankfully, because of the checkpoint right outside the ballroom, where thousands of people were situated to hear the President of the United States. Because that checkpoint worked, there was no one who was injured when it was clear where this defendant was going.
Bro, he shot the officer? What the fuck are you saying?
As a
Chatter, I don't know if you saw the...
someone who was in the ballroom.
You didn't see the CCTV footage? He fucking, he booked it. I mean, he booked it and then they started opening on him. But he didn't actually.
There were shots fired, shots heard, and a whole room went silent.
They keep saying he had a firearm, but there was no firearm in the CCTV. Then again, the footage was so blurry. I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Shooter had a shotgun, handgun, and knife. Shooter was not shot. USS Secret Service was shot in the chest, but it hit his vest.
And they do it with courage and with dignity. Thank God for our partners. The FBI, the Secret Service, the Metropolitan Police, all of them tonight acted so quickly that they prevented what could have been a horrific event where we were all sitting there in one room. The defendant will be arraigned on Monday in federal district court. But make no mistake, there will be many more charges based upon the information that we are learning in this very fluid situation.
I don't understand why they didn't put a attempted murder, like assault with a deadly weapon charge on it. But I don't know if it's like a DC thing. Like some of these jurisdictions have like different designations for the same kind of crime, so I don't understand it. But
we know he was running in the direction of the ballroom that the president was in, as well as other cabinet members. So what his specific motivation was, we can't say at this point. However, as we continue to investigate that, we'll continue to work towards that.
Chief, when you say
next question here, there seems to have been a lack of authorization to come to this event. Was this a failure on the Secret Service?
I mean, what we have here is a multi-layered approach. The director spoke about it. We have officers on the outside from the Metropolitan Police Department along with the escort. The inside portion of any presidential site is handled by the Secret Service and law enforcement partners. This is a multi-layered approach. The point of this checkpoint is to intercept individuals that were there, and what we see in this case is when he reached that checkpoint, Secret Service agents and law enforcement engaged immediately.
In order to prevent bond,
and prevent anyone from being harmed.
Okay. All right, so we had New York Times also confirming it. CNN is confirming he had a shotgun, handgun, and knives. That's crazy, by the way. Again, CCTV footage, he was booking it. I don't know how the fuck he was able to run with that much gear on him.
Sure, Mark. So as you can imagine, this is very early in the investigation. Things we're digging into is his background, vehicles. Those are all things that the FBI, the Metropolitan Police Department, and the Secret Service are working together jointly to determine, is there anything else that's available? So I would imagine as we continue to go through this investigation, there will be additional search warrants and things of that nature as the investigation progresses.
Is the suspect known to law enforcement?
At this point, he was not known to the Metropolitan Police Department. I can tell you that.
Right here.
There are multiple other parties and events happening associated with this weekend tonight. Is there any reason to believe that there will be security concerns at those events? Are there preparations being made locally to protect those attendees?
Yeah, absolutely not. So we have no indication. This is an isolated incident with one individual is the information that we do have. However, we do have additional officers across the city that are giving special attention. We do know there were some after parties and events that are planned that we will be providing coverage for those events.
Yep,
right here. The president said that this is not a particularly secure building. Do you agree with that assessment?
I'm not exactly 100% familiar with this building. I do know in this incident tonight, I know there was a security plan that was developed by the Secret Service that the Metropolitan Police Department assisted with, and I know that security plan did work this evening.
Right here.
Thank you so much. Do you know specifically if President Trump was targeted this attack? And can you speak to there was reporting about the suspect assembling a long weapon and get into the ballroom?
Yes, so as we said before, we do know the president was inside the ballroom. We know there was cabinet members and many
Who gives
guests
a fuck
in there.
what Laura
Who
Loomer's
specifically he was
saying?
targeting at this point, that's part of the investigation. We do know that he was armed with a shotgun when he ran through that checkpoint, so that would look like a long weapon in video.
All right, right here, right here, right here.
To clarify, earlier you said there was an exchange of gunfire. Did the suspect fire any shots? And did the uniformed officer, do you know yet which weapon he was shot?
Yeah, obviously we're only a couple hours into this incident, so we don't have that level of information. The FBI's evidence response team is here. They're processing the scene. So as the investigation develops, all that information will be figured out with the ballistics. The ATF is also on scene here with us.
So the suspect did or did not fire a shot?
Sure. So again, it's very preliminary information. We do believe he did. However, as the investigation determines, we'll pull the shell casings. We'll be able to get more information as we review more evidence. We're very early in the investigation.
All right, we can take a couple more right here, and one more over here.
Thank you so much. So the president said that he wants there to be another event within 30 days. Given what happened tonight, do you have any sense of what additional security measures might be put in place to ensure that something similar does not happen again?
Sure. I'll toss it to the Secret Service.
Yep, this is what we plan for every day. So we take each and every case and we evaluate it, and we do site assessments. And that's why we go out and build these sites per what the event is, and that's how we go about our business.
So will there be any changes or added measures given that this did happen?
We're going to have to evaluate this evening.
Thank you.
I understand. Is there any indication how the suspect got into the hotel? Was he a guest here?
officer team?
Look, there it is.
So preliminary information, we do believe he was a guest here at the hotel. We have secured a room here in the hotel. And again, we'll go through the appropriate procedures to determine what was inside there. But that is secure. At this point, like I said, we believe he is the only suspect in this case.
Okay.
To jump on that question, I understand the multi-approach to security, but you walk in with a weapon of that caliber and get all the way to the ballroom, which on the lower level seems to be quite an extraordinary feat. How does that happen?
Sure. So again, I mean, we're very early in the investigation, so we'll have to determine, we'll go through video across the hotel to figure out how the gun got in, how it got down here. Those things will come through the investigation. At this point, we don't have that level of detail.
Okay, last one.
Yes, video appears to show the president falling down when he's being escorted out. Was he here at all during his evacuation?
No, we don't have any information that he was injured.
President was falling down.
Could you clarify how he was detained? If he was not shot, could you clarify how he was detained?
Sure. So law enforcement right here in this very area, they actually tackled him to the ground and handcuffed him.
Oh, it was Dan Scavino who did the fucking USA
we will
chant.
release his name
Of course.
once we have all the information. Again, we're still running a lot of things down.
One note from the ballroom tonight. Dan Scavino tried to start a USA
In the
chant
hospital,
after the threat,
so
and
we have
absolutely
the
no one
Uniform
wanted to hear it,
Division
even
Secret
Trump
Service,
folks.
officer who's being
Terrible.
evaluated at the hospital who took a round to the vest, and the suspect is being
Fucking
evaluated,
idiot.
but he was not struck by gunfire.
U.S. Attorney Pierre, are you looking at any terrorism charges?
Well, as the chief just indicated, we're very early in this investigation, but make no mistake, if there is anything like that, we will find it and we will file it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Really compelling today. We are hearing a lot of information. We heard from the acting chief of police in Washington, D.C., the U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., the mayor, as well as Secret Service's director. Hearing a lot of information. We know that the suspect was not shot, but is in the hospital being evaluated. We also know the President of the United States contacted the Secret Service agent who was in fact struck and asked for the nation to pray. The person is in good spirits. We also learned a little bit more about whether they believe this person acted alone, saying there was no reason to believe that anyone else was involved. As the president articulated earlier, a lone wolf is what they believe happened here. A number of counts has been already identified by the U.S. attorney. That will change, that will evolve as more information becomes known. She has initially raised two, both including acts of violence, both felony offenses. And they both have said that the checkpoint seemed to have worked, that this person from the video that we saw, and saw it a little bit more, the video of the person sprinting through the area, they believe that that area acted as an effective checkpoint and actually was able to be a deterrent from more happening. But we do want to go to John Miller.
Hang on one second.
Okay.
Let me just, because there are a couple of really important details here. He was armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives.
Yes.
And as he ran through the checkpoint, engaged members of law enforcement, intercepted the individual, and exchanged gunfire, which indicates that both law enforcement and the individual did fire. And then one last piece of information that we learned right at the very end, they think the individual was registered as a guest at the Washington Hilton Hotel where this event was taking place. I didn't mean to interrupt. So John
it's
Miller,
so important
John
what you
Miller
said.
is with us now.
I mean, everything you articulated, John, is important. John Miller, let's talk more about this, because this part of the investigation, particularly intriguing that this person is a guest of the hotel. Remember, this Hilton is not shut down during the course of this event. It is an annual event. It is important to note this is, one could say, the event attended by the most VIPs in the world tonight. I mean, almost the entire, at least initial numbers of the line of succession would be. I mean, John, for a second.
Literally,
you, John Miller.
it's Vice President, Speaker of the House. We don't know if Chuck Grassley, the President pro tem of the Senate, was there, but the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Treasury, the Secretary of Defense, literally,
Attorney General.
You know, almost 5 of the 5 in the constitutional line of succession was in that room at the same time.
And we know just by the weapons that were being used, and when I hear shotgun, handgun, and multiple knives, John Miller, I anticipate this person was intending to exact maximum damage, but also in close proximity with knives alone. Talk to me about what you heard.
Well, I'm hearing what you're hearing, but what I'm seeing here is indicators of a lot of planning. And when I say a lot of planning, a lot of advanced planning. First of all, the Washington Hilton is a massive hotel. And the reason they have that event there is because it has the biggest ballroom in Washington that can accommodate the most people. That said, getting a room at the Washington Hotel on the night of the White House Correspondents' Dinner is nearly impossible unless you book that far in advance, despite the fact that it's a large hotel. So we could deduce from that it is likely that he thought of this for some time in order to line up a hotel room in a hotel that is always fully booked for this evening. You can also deduce from that the fact that he had a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives. That beyond
This is before people figured out the reviews. Let's take a look at what it looks like now.
Mean? It means that he has the privileges of a guest. In most of those cases, the names of the guests are run through a
Real
sort
boring.
of
Makes you feel like
database
bringing a rifle to the.
none of
Okay.
them are known threats to the president.
This game is anti-American.
But as far as we know from our own research tonight, he doesn't seem to have a criminal background that would have set off any of those alarms.
Cost
But
twice,
by being a guest in the hotel,
cost as much as newest
he'd be
Trump's
able to enter
assassin's
the
worth.
hotel,
Online and
show
local most
security
severe
people his
achievements.
key, I'm staying here, and so on, which gives him some access. By getting there, and we don't know how far ahead of time he registered, it might give him a chance to get
Hasan
those weapons
Piker
into the
did
building
this.
and up to the room. But that many weapons on one person seems to indicate possibly that he would use the shotgun until it was exhausted of ammunition, toss that aside, transition to the handgun. When that was exhausted, toss that aside.
It's the game
and
that the
then
shoot,
go to
not
the
the shoot.
knives.
Yeah, alleged
The
shooter.
idea of carrying a layered set of weapons, large, smaller, and then smaller, seems to indicate he was in it for some kind of protracted fight as long as he could go. Now, we're adding a lot of thinking to rational thinking to what may be an irrational act, but it answers the questions, or attempts to answer the questions: why all of these weapons? Why be a guest in the hotel? And when you see him do that charge, this is like a football play. He is trying to run as fast as he can by those layers of security, likely to get to those doors of that ballroom. Now, that didn't work for him. Within a split couple of seconds, he was tackled. The chief did say exchanged gunfire, but it's still so early. Whether he got...
All right, let's get to the fucking conspiracy theories, okay? Hold on. There's more. Let me close these off. I can't believe we were looking at fucking monkey shine as a statement right before this happened. Feels like a lifetime ago. Yeah. So Republicans are, doing their very best to try to find, a person to blame instead of transgender Antifa. I'm the new transgender Antifa. So, you're welcome, trans people. I'll take this one. I'll take the blame on this one instead. But this part of the story is actually interesting because not only did I also make a reference about Caroline Leavitt using maybe some unfortunate words. Okay. I said, what does she know?
I will tell you, this speech
What did you know, says Will Chamberlain.
tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone.
That's weird. That's weird. Okay. She says there will be some shots fired tonight. By the way, official narrative is set in 69,000 likes. Anyway, but it doesn't end there. Fox's Aisha Hasney has some words about Caroline Leavitt as well. Let's take a look.
Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me, and right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV, you do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some...
What?
Sounds like we lost Aisha's phone there. And this happens by...
What? That's crazy. Fox's Aisha Hasni. Caroline Levy's husband leaned over to me and told me right as the White House Correspondents' Dinner was starting, you need to be very safe. He was very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and said, there are some. And then the call dropped. And then it's happened an hour and a half ago. They're saying she still has yet to be back on the broadcast.
By the way, especially when you have so many people attempting to utilize the same cell service at the same time. I did want to add this. While we had a moment, I was just reading.
I want to just quickly.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Very, very, very interesting stuff. I'm just saying. Very strange. Like I said, these two things together, kind of a strange situation. Tie that up to ballroom false flag, maybe. I don't know. Trump, this is why we need the ballroom.
We have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years.
Also, shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and all these cultists instantly start talking about Trump's ballroom. Here's Governor Jeff Landry. Unfortunately, the First Lady and I had to be evacuated from the White House Correspondents' Dinner alongside the President and the entire cabinet. This event is yet another reason that President Donald Trump's ballroom should be built. Libs of TikTok. This is why we need Trump's ballroom. Meghan McCain. I don't want to hear one more fucking criticism of Trump's new ballroom at the White House. What is going on, man? It's very odd how fast these people all just snapped into action. Half of the talking points were talk about the ballroom. The other half of the talking points were try to blame this on Hasan Piker. Very strange behavior, very strange stuff. I'm just saying. Question everything, you know? Question everything. Can we call this the incident, the ballroom blitz? Yeah, the ballroom blitz, baby. Elon's ex already explained it. There's a voice chat out there. I mean, yeah, I know. There's like a group message out there where they do get their talking points. I know that. What's also funny about this, here's another one of these moments. Aaron Rupar has covered Donald Trump every single day, literally every single day, 7 days a week, 24/7. Except for when he was in Butler, Pennsylvania. When he wasn't in Butler, Pennsylvania. When Donald Trump was in Butler, Pennsylvania. I was hoping to catch some of the Trump rally, but he's half an hour late and counting. And I'm going to Earth, Wind, and Fire in Chicago with my mom, so I think I'm going to have a punt on live coverage. Have a lovely Saturday. The second time Aaron Rupar has decided not to cover a Trump incident was when he was at an NBA playoff game tonight and will not be covering Trump's post-government press conference, which I'm sure will be deeply unsettling and weird. Congrats, America. What does he know? What does liberal Aaron Rupar know? I'm just saying. This dude is always there. He's always covering. What is this? Cole Allen? Bro, that doesn't mean anything. You guys are so stupid. This is a common ass name, dude. What the fuck? Come on. At least make this shit stick, you know? Yeah, Trump posted this. I know, I saw. But yeah, this is the game that he made. And of course, very quickly, the community discussion is turned into insane shit. Hasan, the shooter is my old neighbor's son. Police and reporters were just at my house. Wait, what the fuck? Really? Dude. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means anymore. The shooter had a father? Spill the tea, Chatter. Did you meet him? Chatter, what do you know? This is insane to post. Fight, fight, fight. I mean, yeah, they're trying to... Bro, I'm telling you, Blue and On is not fucking with this shit. Look, this is the vibes. I swear to God, this is the vibes. I already called it. I'm already front running with this one, okay? I'm not... The question I have is, where's Usher? Okay, that's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. It's 9 hours and 30 minutes, folks. Okay, I've had a long ass day. My brain is kind of doo-doo at this point. Subscribe to the People's Broadcasting Service, PBS, Piker Broadcasting Service. This is usually when when my brain starts being doo-doo. What is this? This is not me. Lamont. E-Rob. It's crazy. In this video, you can see the Millers, Fettermans, Hexeds, and RFK reacting to it. Wait, what? No, you can't. This is just the CCTV.
18, go for it.
Cash in the chair before everything went down with his girlfriend in the shooting. Oh, you mean like before everything went down with the shooting and also the things that went down with his girlfriend. Those are two separate incidents. That's right. I forgot. How could I forget? That was probably one of the worst instances for Cash. I mean, he's on the verge of getting insane pull cuck command center in the hotel. My sources on the ground are reporting to me that Crash Out Patel is monitoring the situation from Cuck Command Center in the hotel. His girlfriend is still holding the hand of another suspect, a male suspect, the male style individual. Mighty suspicious. Trump has skipped every correspondence dinner across presidencies except this one, and all of a sudden there's a shooter in the lobby. Okay, yeah, Blue and On is not taking this. I'm telling you. Cash tonight. We getting fired anyway, Ernie. Fuck it. Anyway. All right. I think that might be it for me, folks. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired as hell. Gaming? No gaming? Brother, it has been 10 hours. Almost 10 hours. What's wrong with you? Almost 10 hours, chatter. What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell do you want me to do? All right. I'll see you tomorrow, obviously. Hopefully, we'll have more information. And then I'll be live. I'll be in New York starting Monday. Got a bunch of stuff going on. You already know. Half day Hasi. Half day Hasi as always. All right, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Peace.